Many thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Nigeria's coronavirus cases have surged to at least 25,000 following the emergence of 566 new infections. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirming the new figure, also revealed that 395 recoveries were recorded on Monday. Unlike the previous day, the new cases were recorded across 19 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This brings the nation's tally to 25,133, and of this number, 9,402 people have been discharged with 573 deaths. Amid rising COVID-19 cases, the federal government says it may impose a lockdown on 18 local government areas considered to account for 60% of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustapha, gave the indication while briefing State House correspondents after members of the PTF met with President Buhari to review ongoing efforts to address the pandemic. According to the PTF chairman, the affected states would implement what he called precision lockdown in the local government areas.
Precision lockdown, like I said, we have identified 18 local governments out of the 774 local governments that are considered to be high burden with this infection. They account for 60% of the figure you have of the 24,077 infections. Those 18 local governments account for 60% of those figures. And the reason for the precision lockdown is to in place in those places specific measures that will be administered by the state governments and the local authorities. It's not for the federal government. It is the responsibility of the state governments and the local authorities to put in place measures which might be similar to the first response we had of the total lockdown of those communities. Entered the stage of community transmission, and without any vaccine in sight or any form of cure, the only thing you can do to interrupt that transmission is to comply with the non-pharmaceutical interventions that we have consistently advocated for. The level of compliance has rather been very, very low. You drive around the city of Abuja, you see people walking around without any face covering. We are not saying that they should use medical masks. Even your handkerchief can be a source of face covering, provided it is clean. The only way we can drastically interrupt transmission, which is now at the community level, is to adhere to the non-pharmaceutical interventions that we have put in place.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Safety Commission has sealed some lounges, bars, spas and nightclubs for flouting the government's COVID-19 directives. The Director General of the Commission, Larry Mojola, disclosed this on Monday while giving an update on the recent exercise carried out by the agency's compliance and enforcement teams. He listed the areas to include Lagos Island, Surulere and Abulegba, among others, stressing that the government has zero tolerance for breach of safety precautionary measures and will not condone flagrant disobedience of its directive. Mojola stated that the Commission has started issuing provisional safety compliance certificates to social clubs that have registered and have had their facilities verified for reopening. The coronavirus pandemic is not even close to being over. The World Health Organization warned as the global death toll passed 500,000. In another grim milestone, the number of infections recorded worldwide topped 10 million, while some authorities reimposed lockdown measures that have crippled the economies worldwide. The health body also announced that it will send a team to China next week to find out the origin of the virus. COVID-19 is still rampaging across the U.S., which has recorded more than 125,000 deaths and 2.5 million cases, both around the quarter of the global totals. We'll take a break here and we'll be right back. To stay with us.
My trust is in Southern National Public Hospital, Bowie, Lagos, and be on the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideways curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, a hump in the back, and even pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality X-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2 weeks free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has varied the bail conditions granted the former chairman of the Pension Reform Tax Team, Abdulrasheed Maina. On November 25, 2019, the court had admitted the former pension chairman to bail at 1 billion naira. Justice Okonabang, who gave the ruling, also ordered Maina to produce 2 sureties who must be serving senators. The judge said the 2 lawmakers must not be standing criminal trial in any court in the country. He also ruled that the 2 sureties who must be prepared for an additional 500 million naira bond each must always be in court with the defendants at each adjourned date. Nigerian troops under Operation Stroke have killed 4 suspected thief militias and injured others at Chikejunkun village in Taraba State. A statement by the coordinator of Defense Media Operation, Major General John Enenche, on Tuesday said the suspects were killed during a gunfight with the troops. He said the armed militia opened fire on sight and the troops, who responded with superior firepower, thereby neutralizing 4 of them, while an unconfirmed number escaped with gunshot wounds. In another development, Enenche said troops responded to a distress call from Zaki Biam on the activities of a suspected notorious kidnap kingpin, Kobo Isho, also known as Lassa. At least 27 suspects have been paraded by the police in Abuja. The suspects were paraded at the Special Anti-Robbery Squad office for various crimes. The police also brought before the media 3 minors aged between 3 and 6 who have been rescued since last year but whose parents are yet to be identified.
Matthew Jerome is a very dangerous kidnapper. Dangerous because he is camouflaging within his area as a youth leader and as a leader of the vigilante group. And that makes his case very dangerous. For traditional rulers, presidents of town unions out there, local government chairmen, and other community leaders, it is important that we continue to pay very close attention to people in positions of authority. By the very nature of our rules, particularly our standard operating procedures, we don't show the faces of children whenever we are having a press briefing, particularly when these children are victims of crime. The 3 kids here, 2 girls and a boy, were among 6 children that were recovered, rescued by detectives from IRT. We've been having these children unable to trace, locate, or identify their families. The purpose of this briefing, therefore, is for the media to help us put out this information out there so that family members who might have lost any of their own, or whose children or child might have been stolen, to come up and take a very close look at these children for possible identification.
The Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) has issued a warning to job seekers, urging them to be mindful of fraudsters as they seek enlistment into the NIS. The service public relations officer, James Sunday, gave the warning in a statement on Tuesday while reacting to reports that the NIS was recruiting. Sunday said the attention of the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, was drawn to a fake NIS recruitment scam site and link posted by fraudsters on social media with the intention of defrauding innocent and unsuspecting Nigerians of money. The Central Bank of Nigeria has said it is stimulating local production in the agricultural business to enhance growth and boost employment in the country. According to a statement released on Monday, some of the Apex Bank's agribusiness initiatives are the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund, Agricultural Credit Support Scheme, the Commercial Agriculture Credit Scheme, the Real Sector Support Facility, and the Director, Development Finance Department (CBN), Yela Yusuf, said the bank's funding of the Anchor Borrowers Program for the 2020 season was the highest since the inception of the program in 2015. China's parliament has passed the controversial national security legislation for Hong Kong, which Beijing says is necessary to tackle issues of terrorism, subversion, and foreign interference. The bill was passed unanimously by the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress at a 3-day meeting that began on Sunday. The legislation will come into effect when it's gazetted in Hong Kong and is expected to be enforced by July 1st, the anniversary of the territory's return to Chinese rule. Mauricio Pochettino, son of former Tottenham Hotspurs manager Mauricio Pochettino, has signed a new contract at the English Premier League club. Mauricio joined the North London's club academy in 2017, but is yet to make a senior appearance. His father, Pochettino, was sacked by Spurs in November after more than 5 years in charge and was replaced by Portuguese boss Jose Mourinho. Spurs are 7th in the league standings with 45 points, 9 points behind 4th-placed Chelsea. And that's it on the newsroom on TV360 Nigeria. Thank you for watching.